turn on my mic. We'll go ahead and call the January 11th, 2024 meeting of the Hayward Planning Commission to order. Why don't we go ahead and start off with the Pledge of Allegiance, if we can all stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, welcome everyone. Happy New Year to everyone. Good to see fellow commissioners here this evening. And I believe we have two of our commissioners joining from Zoom. Ms. Paras, if we can start the meeting with roll call, please.
Commissioner Stevens.
Present.
Commissioner Goodbody.
Present.
Commissioner Franco Clausen.
Present.
Commissioner Patterson.
Present.
Commissioner Lowe.
Here.
Commissioner Myers.
Here.
Chair Ali Sullivan.
Present. All right, we have quorum. So we will go ahead and start the meeting. So we have three items this evening. The first item is an action item for us. It will be the nomination and election of Planning Commission officers. I know there is some potential.
Excuse me, Chair.
Yes. Oh, public comment. Apologies. Why don't we go ahead and open up public comment before we get to our action items? I was blown away by the number of folks in the audience, which is why I forgot to address public comment. So if there's anyone, as there's no one in the room, if there's anyone online that has raised their hand that would wish to provide public comment, now would be the time to raise your hand on the Zoom platform. Again, you are able to speak for 3 minutes on items that are not up for discussion on the agenda this evening. So if there's anyone online, Ms. Paras, if you could let me know.
There's no public comments at this time.
All right, and seeing no one in the room, we'll go ahead and close public comment. And we will move on to our action items. Again, the first, which is the nomination and election of officers for the Planning Commission. And as I was mentioning, I believe there's some legal mechanics that we should just be aware of as far as that process to ensure that we're compliant. So, Mr. Lekirko, if you would be so kind as to just explain the process to us.
I'm going to turn it over to
Michael, if you can as well. Yep.
Yes, thank you, Chair. So I'll go over the process for our election, or nominations and election of officers this evening. So nominations and voting for each office will be taken in the following order: Chair, Vice Chair, and Secretary. The Chair will call for nominations from the floor, and any commissioner may nominate, saying "I nominate," and designating who they're nominating. No seconds are necessary. A commissioner can nominate themselves. A commissioner may rise and decline the nomination during the nominating process if they choose to do so. The chair will announce each of the nominees, and after hearing that there are no further nominations, the chair will close nominations and the commission will vote on each nomination in the order in which they were received. And the first nomination to win a majority vote is elected to that respective office. And at the conclusion, then the chair will open nominations for the next position.
Great. All right. Sounds relatively straightforward. So we will go ahead and start this fun process. We'll start with Chair. I can state that it is a wonderful opportunity, and so I would encourage folks to make nominations to serve as chair. And so at the first position, we'll go ahead and open up if there are any nominations from my fellow commissioners for the role of chair of the Planning Commission.
I would like to nominate. Oh.
My eye instantly saw Commissioner Stevens. So Commissioner Stevens, did you? Okay.
You did.
I was going to nominate Commissioner Lowe to the post of chair.
Great. Appreciate that, Commissioner Stevens. Any other nominations? All right. Seeing as we have no additional nominations for the position of Chair of the Planning Commission, we'll go ahead and take a roll call vote.
You may want to just confirm that Commissioner Lowe is.
Oh, I should. Commissioner Lowe
Thank
may
you.
not want to take on the responsibility. Commissioner Lowe, would you like to accept the nomination?
Yes, I accept.
Wonderful. All right. Ms. Pottis, if you can call a vote.
Commissioner Stevens,
Yes.
Commissioner Goodbody,
Yes.
Commissioner Franco Clausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Patterson,
Yes.
Commissioner Lowe,
Yes.
Commissioner Myers,
Yes.
Chair Ali Sullivan.
An enthusiastic yes. All right. Wonderful. We will have a new Chair of the Planning Commission. Commissioner Lowe, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Chair.
All right. Our second position would be for Vice Chair. Do we have any nominations for the position of Vice Chair? Yeah,
I
Commissioner Lowe?
would nominate Commissioner Patterson.
Commissioner Patterson, do you accept the nomination?
I do.
Wonderful. Are there any other nominations?
I'd like to
Commissioner Meyer, yes.
nominate Commissioner Goodbody.
Commissioner Goodbody, do you accept the nomination?
I politely decline.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Goodbody. Any other nominations? All right. Seeing as there are none, we will go ahead and call a vote of the nomination we have on hand for Commissioner Patterson as Vice Chair. Ms. Pottis, if you could call the roll.
Commissioner Stevens,
Yes.
Commissioner Goodbody,
Yes.
Commissioner Franco Clausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Patterson,
Yes.
Commissioner Lowe,
Yes.
Commissioner Myers,
Yes.
Chair Ali Sullivan.
Yes. Wonderful. We have a new Vice Chair. Congratulations, Commissioner Patterson.
Thank
All
you.
right. Great. Our third, we're rolling through this here, will be for the position of Secretary. We'll go ahead and open up nominations for the position of Secretary. Commissioner Lowe.
I nominate Commissioner Goodbody.
Commissioner Goodbody, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, I accept.
All right. Any other nominations? All right. We'll go ahead and close nominations. And we'll go ahead and take a vote. Ms. Pottis, if you would be so kind as to take a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Stevens,
Yes.
Commissioner Goodbody,
Yes, thank you.
Commissioner Franco Clausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Patterson,
Yes.
Commissioner Lowe,
Yes.
Commissioner Myers,
Yes.
Chair Ali Sullivan.
Yes. Wonderful. So we have a new slate of officers, and I believe they will take over at our next meeting. So thank you all. It's a great opportunity to take additional leadership, although we all are leaders on this board, and so there's plenty of opportunity for folks over the course of their term to take on these positions. So as I quickly learned, able to be chair as well. So I look forward to continuing to see the newer members of the commission grow in their opportunities here. So thank you all for that process. We'll go ahead and then move on to item number 2, which is a public hearing, and we'll be making a recommendation to City Council on this item. It is a proposed zoning change of a 4.1 acre site located at 1103 Walpert Street from a planned development district to a medium density residential district. And so I believe we have a staff presentation. Ms. Richard, I believe you're going to be presenting to us this evening. So I will go ahead and turn it over to you for that staff review.
So, excuse me, Chair Ali Sullivan?
Yes.
Can I just make a statement before we do that?
Sure, please do. Yes.
Thank you. So before we hear this item, I would like to disclose that I live approximately 600 feet from the project site. I've consulted with the city attorney's office and there is no conflict.
Appreciate that, Commissioner Patterson. Thank you. All right, we'll go ahead and start with our staff report.
Okay, good evening, Planning Commission and the Hayward community. For those I've not yet had the chance of meeting, I'm Taylor Richard, an Associate Planner with the City of Hayward Planning Division. Tonight, we will be reviewing a rezoning from a planned development district to the medium density residential district and findings that no further environmental analysis is needed at 1103 Walport Street. Before we get into the project, I want to share some background on the site. The project site used to be owned by the Walport Association. Under their ownership, they requested a rezoning of the parcel from medium density residential, also known as RM, to a planned development district known as a PD. In 2004, the City Council approved that rezoning, allowing for the development of a group home complex. Specifically, the PD allowed for the construction of 5 group homes, a maintenance building, an access way, parking, and other associated site improvements. In 2009, the Walport Association completed the construction of 2 group homes and some of the site improvements. However, the Walport Association never completed the rest of the development. In the 2010s, the Arc of the East Bay became the new owner of the site. The Arc of the East Bay is a nonprofit organization that provides resources to individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Their programming in Hayward predominantly takes place at the community center located at 1101 Walport Street, which is located right in front of this site. In 2023, the Arc of the East Bay submitted the application we are reviewing tonight to rezone the property back to RM. Prior to submitting the application, the Arc of the East Bay tried to partner with developers to construct housing for their clientele and the Hayward community at large. However, the existing zoning, which only allows for the construction of 5 group homes, served as a barrier to those partnerships. Currently, the site still has the 2 buildings and site improvements that were constructed in 2009. The site at 1103 Walport Street is located within the Mission Foothills neighborhood and is approximately a quarter mile east of Mission Boulevard and a third of a mile from downtown Hayward. The site is predominantly surrounded by residential uses with a large apartment complex and townhouse development to the east, another townhouse development to the north, and a couple detached residential subdivisions to the northeast and to the south. The site is also near several non-residential uses, including the Arc of the East Bay Community Center to the north, Ward Creek to the south, and All Saints Cemetery to the west. I wanted to note that the Arc of the East Bay their application includes no plans to the 1101 Walport Street, and their intention is to keep their community center there. Okay, moving along, this slide includes some photos of the site, including a couple of the existing conditions. In the top right-hand corner, there's a photo showing the view of the site from Walport Street. It is important to note that since the site is a flag lot, the site is predominantly not visible from the public right-of-way. As noted previously, the site is currently zoned PD, and the applicant is proposing to rezone the site back to RM. At this time, no development is proposed, and any future development would be required to be reviewed by the planning department. The proposed zoning would remove barriers to allow for a greater variety of housing on the site, thus expanding the development opportunities and potential partnerships for Arc of the East Bay. If the rezoning is approved, the Arc of the East Bay's intention is to partner with a affordable housing developer to develop the site with integrated housing. Integrated housing is housing where individuals with disabilities live among individuals without disabilities. The proposed zoning district, RM, is fully consistent with the existing general plan land use designation of medium density residential. Furthermore, the proposed zoning is also in conformance with several housing and land use policies within our general plan. These policies focus on 1, allowing a greater variety of housing close to services and transportation routes, 2, promoting infill development, and 3, having regulations that encourage and remove constraints for housing development. This rezoning would allow for a greater variety of housing that is close to downtown Hayward and the Mission Boulevard corridor on an infill site. Further, it would remove the existing constraints created by the PD zoning. Lastly, since the project is fully consistent with the general plan, no further environmental review is needed because it was assumed under the Hayward 2040 General Plan EIR. With that, staff is recommending that the Planning Commission recommend that the City Council approve the proposed zone change. And I want to note that at 5 o'clock, we received a letter from Friends of San Lorenzo Creek noting that Ward Creek backs up to this and that any future development should comply with the creek setback. I just wanted to note that any future development that comes in will be reviewed and will need to be in compliance with our standards, including the creek setback. With that, I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have. Additionally, I want to introduce Ron Luter, CEO of the Arc of East Bay.
Wonderful. I assume Ron is on virtually. Okay, great. And I was going to say, yeah, does the applicant have any additional comment he would like to provide in relation to this item?
All I have to say is that the planning department, I'm very impressed with them because the presentation they gave was right on point. They actually listened to what we had to say. And so thank you ever so much for that presentation. You got it right.
Great, appreciate that. Why don't we go ahead and, Ms. Richard, that concludes the presentation, correct? Great. We can go ahead and open it up to Commissioner questions, if any of the commissioners have questions on this item. And I'll start virtually if any of my colleagues online have questions. Looking behind me for a hand raised. Doesn't look like it. All right, any questions from the dais here? All right, why don't we go ahead and open up public comment on this item. Again, as there are no individuals in the room, we'll go ahead and look to Ms. Pottas if there's any individuals online that have raised their hand wishing to speak on this item.
Chair Ollie Sullivan, we have one attendee, but they have not raised their hand.
All right, appreciate that. Doing a 1 to 10 in my head. We'll go ahead and close any of the public comment on this item. And then I guess next up, do any of the commissioners have comments that they'd like to share? Or do we have any motion on the item? Commissioner Stevens.
I'd like to make a motion to approve this zoning modification from PD to RM.
Appreciate that. We have a motion and we have a second. Any additional comments or questions from dais? All right, seeing none, we will go ahead and move to a vote. Ms. Pottas, if you would be so kind as to call a roll call. The motion on the table is to recommend to City Council the proposed zoning change from PD to RM. Is that correct, Commissioner Stevens?
That is correct.
Great. All right.
Commissioner Stevens,
Yes.
Commissioner Goodbody,
Yes.
Commissioner Franco-Claassen,
Yes.
Commissioner Patterson,
Aye.
Commissioner Lowe,
Yes.
Commissioner Myers,
Yes.
Chair Ollie Sullivan.
Aye. All right. Great. The motion has passed. That recommendation will move on to the City Council. And we'll go ahead and move on to the, appreciate the presentation and the work on that. Ms. Richard, thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on to approval of minutes, which is the third item, would be approval of the minutes of the Planning Commission meeting on October 26th, 2023. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve the minute.
We have a motion
Second.
from Commissioner Lowe.
Second.
Sounds like we have a second online.
Yes.
That was Commissioner Patterson?
Yes.
Great. We have a motion and a second. Ms. Pottas, if you can call a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Commissioner Stevens,
I will need to abstain. Thank you.
Commissioner Goodbody,
Yes.
Commissioner Franco-Claassen,
Yes.
Commissioner Patterson,
Aye.
Commissioner Lowe,
Yes.
Commissioner Myers,
Yes.
Chair Ollie Sullivan.
Aye. All right, that I think that's a record for us, friends. That was a very short meeting. Why don't we go ahead and move on to any staff reports? Mr. Lakirko, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
All right. Thank you, Chair and members of the commission. Hope everybody had a very restful and relaxing holiday season, and Happy New Year to everyone. Just wanted to give an update that our next regularly scheduled meeting, which is scheduled for January 25th, is likely going to be canceled. There was one item on the agenda and proposed for commission consideration, and that is going to be pushed to the first meeting in February, which is February 8th. So please don't show up a couple weeks from now. We will not be having a meeting. And that concludes my report outs. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Any other commissioner reports? I do have an announcement, but I'll look to see if any of my fellow commissioners have announcements. Commissioner Stevens?
Yeah, so I was really excited last night to see on the Channel 2 News that this month is Hayward Restaurant Month. And I'm looking at the website and there's a lot of interesting things. And I think that's a very exciting opportunity.
Appreciate that. Yes, Mr. Kirkle.
Thank you. One other comment I just wanted to highlight for the community. We are having next Monday, the city is going to be working with with Hayward South Alameda County NAACP, Chabot College, and Hayward Unified to recognize Dr. Martin Luther King. The birthday celebration will take place next Monday, starting at 4:30 at the Reed Buffington Visual and Performing Arts Center out at Chabot College. There's going to be a great a presenter and a keynote speaker, along with just some wonderful music to help celebrate the wonderful work of Dr. Martin Luther King. So anyone that's available and would like to participate, please join your fellow residents in recognizing. So I just wanted to bring that up. Thank you.
Appreciate that. I would like to myself make an announcement. I do want to provide a personal update here and to give notice that I plan to resign from the Hayward Planning Commission, which will be effective the end of January. And seeing as there may not be a second meeting, I did just want to share a few words here. Obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but this wasn't a decision that I took lightly, and I will greatly miss serving on the commission. It has been an honor. It's been a privilege to serve as a commissioner, particularly over the last year as chair. I want to thank city staff, my fellow commissioners, for all their support, their friendship, their mentorship in this very unique role that we serve in. I also want to thank the previous city council who put their faith in me by appointing me to this role 3.5 years ago. I hope I've lived up to the expectations that you had for me. In the role, I've done my best to weigh each project that's come our way to the standard of what's in the best interest of the city of Hayward and what's in the best interest of residents. And I'm proud of the work that I've been a part of through this process, and I'm able to drive by in the city and see some of that tangible process taking form. I want to thank my family for their support, my wife, my parents, my niece, who at all individual times have been often the lonely single members of the audience here at these meetings, and for their support of this endeavor that I sought out. I joined the commission to satisfy my desire to be able to give back to the city and my community, and I felt that serving on this body would be a unique way to really meld that professional and academic background that I had. And as I step away from this position, I am certain that the city is in very good hands. I was reflecting on my time on the commission. I have seen 4 of my fellow commissioners now become city council members. And so I have no doubt that the body before us today and the folks here today will continue to become the future leaders of our city. And I'll definitely be cheering you all on going forward. And so I leave simply by sharing with my fellow commissioners that recognize that you have a unique platform. Don't think that your voice is too small. Stand up for what's right, what you believe in here in Hayward and globally. And a sincere thank you to everyone and what this role has been able to give me personally. So I greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. Mr. Lakirko, yes.
I just wanted to personally thank you so much, Aiden, for your great service to Hayward. We are a much better community because of the effort and the passion that you took when you reviewed your projects, the questions that you asked during the deliberation, and the courtesy you made not only to staff, but to applicants. So thank you so much for your contribution. I know you're going to continue to still have family here and you're still going to be vested in the community, but we are a much better community because you helped serve and including your role as chair. So thank you so much.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Sure, please.
As a newer commission, I just want to say if it's such a loss to me personally is I've only been here, a handful of meetings, but upon arrival, you were just the kindest to me and most welcoming and just told me you're good. You're a part of this group, you're a part of this, don't worry. And I think when you're joining something new, it's really hard to find where you fit in. And that's the one thing that I will already miss about you.
Appreciate that very much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please, Commissioner Lowe, Chair Lowe.
It has been an absolute pleasure to work alongside you for the betterment of this community. I see your passion. I see your dedication to our great city, and I've learned so much from you, and I wish you nothing but wonderful things for your future as you go off and do new things and exciting things. Don't forget about us. And as a friend, I just want to thank you and echo what Commissioner Franco Clausen said. I too, as a new commissioner, felt very welcomed by you and very comfortable with you right off the bat. And you're a good person. And I appreciate you.
Appreciate that very much. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Aiden. I'm looking forward to all the exciting things you do going forward.
Appreciate that very much. You guys are too kind. Greatly appreciate it. Ms. Pires, yes?
Commissioner Goodbody?
Thank you, Aiden. I want to echo just the comments that the fellow commissioners have expressed already, and I really appreciate your eloquence and just not only running a smooth meeting, but in some of the global events that have happened in this very short year since I joined the commission, and really want to thank your attention to that and just making us feel as Team Hayward. And I look forward to watching all the wonderful things that you'll do. So my best wishes to you and your family.
Appreciate that very much. Thank you. Wonderful.
Commissioner Patterson?
I too just wanted to congratulate you for all of the years that you were here and express how much we're going to miss you, and to thank you for just your leadership over this past year and your example. And I will carry that with me forward. And so I just wish you all the best and hope that our paths cross again at some point.
Please.
Commissioner Sullivan, you and I go way back. I think I've known you now maybe 45 minutes. But it has been an honor.
Hopefully it's a good 45
This
minutes.
has been a great 45 minutes. But I have watched you over the years and I've watched your leadership, and it's a sad loss for us, but it sounds like a great opportunity for you. So the best to you.
Appreciate the words very much. And, we are in good hands. It's a wonderful slate of commissioners we have. I'm excited for our new officers and for the energy. And so thank you all very much for the kind words. I will miss you all on this dais, but we will indeed stay friends going forward. So thank you very much. With that, I will, for the last time, do my favorite part of the meetings, and I will call the meeting to an end at 7:32 p.m. Thank you, everyone. I hope all have a wonderful night.